these rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Why you go? There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores, where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores, where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. I'm Roger Marsden.
And I'm Rhonda Green. Since this week is Volunteer Appreciation Week, the BBS volunteers have decided to do the news.
Tonight's stories include
Interview with Chamber of Commerce.
we spoke with the volunteer Cape 500 team.
We also visited with the Burgeo volunteer firefighters.
Volunteers play an important role at our schools.
These stories plus community events, BBS Pie Bell, off the rack.
All that and more coming up after this.
The Crohn's and Colitis Heal and Wheelathon is a fun, exciting, and healthy way to raise money for inflammatory bowel disease research. Get involved by raising pledges and winning prizes. You can participate, volunteer, or join a corporate challenge. The Crohn's and Colitis Heal and Wheelathon. Finding the cure.
In tonight's program, we will be looking at various volunteer groups within our community.
It is impossible to look at all the volunteer groups in our community because there are so many.
Various BBS volunteers will be interviewing members from 7 community volunteer groups and organizations.
But first, here's Dave with tonight's top story.
It has been brought to the attention of the local union executive by MP Roger Simmons that he has been attending meetings with Federal Fisheries Minister Fred Mifflin, Max Short, and Seafreeze owner Bill Barry. Simmons also informed the executive that a package is being put together for Burgeo. An announcement on this package should be forthcoming in a couple of weeks. Simmons said things look really good for Burgeo. The local executive would appreciate any letters from other groups supporting the allocation of any fish quotas for the Burgeo plant. Meetings are still ongoing between Mr. Barry and the Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
Children in Burgeo had the chance to experience what it will be like to go to school before they actually enter kindergarten. This option is available thanks to 2 volunteer preschool teachers.
That Marie.
Hi.
What year did the preschool open?
Our preschool started in October of '92. We started off with 10 children, and by the end of December we had 21. That was our first year.
How long have you been volunteering your services there at the school?
In the preschool I've been volunteering for 5 years, but I've been doing volunteer work off mine for the school ever since my children been here, but this is my main volunteer work is right here in the classroom.
What made you decide to volunteer at the school?
Well, it's a good program. The preschool is excuse me, is a good program. Doreen and Rose Batcher approached Diane and myself about setting up a program for children about to enter kindergarten, because when they start school in September, a lot of kids are afraid. They haven't been involved with other children before. This is the first time they've been away from mom, and they're coming to school with a strange lady. So we thought it was a nice thing if we had a program set up so we could concentrate on getting them playing with other kids away from mom from a little bit and being involved in the school, like kind of set up a routine for them so that when they come in September, all the crying and all the nervous feelings and that would be gone. And I'm glad to say that it's worked to a point. It's really worked well. And most of the kids, when they go to kindergarten, they're very excited about kindergarten because we kind of pretend that it's very like you're going on an adventure, and when you get to kindergarten, amazing things are going to happen. So, and it works. You know, the kids really enjoy going to kindergarten after being here in preschool.
How many days a week do the preschool take place?
This year we just got them 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But in years past, like say the last 4 years, it was Mondays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, because we always had 2 classes. But because of declining enrollment, this year we only got 8 students, 7 now because one has moved away. And so we just decided to have all of them in together 2 days a week.
What kind of things do the children learn here?
They don't learn as in I'll get up and say, or Diane will get up and say, we are teaching this today. But we play games, like, okay, we're sitting in our listening square. This is our listening square. And in our listening square, we usually talk about certain subjects. For example, Tuesday past, we talked about rectangles. And we played a game about rectangles. And every day we have somebody who puts the number up on the calendar. And I pleads ignorance, says I can't count very well, so would you help me count? And that teaches them how to count. Somebody gets to pick a letter every day, so we're teaching letters. They think it's a game. And we'll do games with colors. We don't really say, well, you know, we're teaching this, but through games and playing like that, kids are learning, but they don't realize they're learning. So we kind of do it through games.
Do you have any activities where the parents are involved with their children's education?
Yeah, there's a reading program that starts with preschool, and the children know it as take-home books. And every day they come to preschool, they choose a book that we get from the library, and they take it home, and their parents read to them. This year is a bit different. We haven't had any parents in the class because Diane and I have been doing the class ourselves. But we've invited the parents to come along, and during the class they get the chance to see excuse me, what the children are doing, what they're playing. And when we do an activity at the end of the day, the parents usually are involved. But in every other year, besides this one, the parents are the volunteers. They come in the classroom. They get a chance to be the helper, and they help the children with their whatever they're playing, or if we're singing or whatever. So the parents get a chance to see the kids in a different environment, and most parents are surprised that their kids are so different in the school environment than what they are at home, and with excuse me, with somebody else other than themselves. So it's a learning experience for the parents as well as the children, because the children gets a chance to say, well, my mom is teacher's big helper today. But we got teacher's big helper and teacher's little helper, right? So, and the reading program is one way to do it. And sometimes we send home activities so mom can get the children involved in their activities that we send home. So there's lots of occasions and opportunities for parents to work with their children in preschool.
Okay, I'd like to thank you very much for your time and cooperation.
Thank you.
Volunteer duties vary depending on the organization you are a part of. Members of the volunteer search and rescue team have to brave all sorts of weather conditions and other elements in order to carry out their duties as a member of the team.
We are here at the Ground Search and Rescue Building, and speaking with me today is Chloe Marsden and Chis Dunford. How long has the Ground Search and Rescue team been in place in Burgeo?
Bernie, I'd say about 14 or 15 years. To best of my knowledge, it was somewhere around September of 1982.
How many members are on the Ground Search and Rescue team, and are the numbers increasing?
Well, right now we've got 29 members. A few years ago, before the fishery went down and things, well, we had 32, but recently we took on 3 new members, so it's gone down a bit, but hopefully we can maintain in the 20s. We'll be satisfied.
Have you ever been on searches?
We've been on a few searches this year. Well, actually, there when the road was closed there a couple of weeks ago, we had a call to go in, try to locate some people that were stranded on the road. And the next day we had a call that we went in and carried in some supplies to people that were stranded on the road. So we've been fairly active this winter.
What kind of drills do you do?
Well, we do a lot of practice drills. Like we send somebody in maybe in the evening, and they'll sit out. Well, we have a few things we sit out, and the people go in that evening, maybe after supper. We give them their compasses and their coordinates, maps, and they go and try to locate the things that we've placed around the country. So we find that's fairly good practice.
We also do a lot of night searches, practice.
Has there been any changes in the search and rescue team?
Well, as of January this year, there's no longer ground search and rescue. So everything now is search and rescue. We're getting more involved with Coast Guard. And well, we've got survival suits there now that before were used basically for snow machine wintertime, we'll say. But now it can be used boats. If somebody's lost in a boat, we got our survival suits here. We can participate in boats, people lost on the water. And generally, well, we're getting a lot of things come in here from the Coast Guard. We got a spine board here, and we got a good stretcher there that's in good shape that was supplied by the Coast Guard. With RCMP, they give us our floater suits. So lately, we have seen a few changes, getting a lot more support and stuff.
Are you looking for any new volunteers?
Not right now, we're not. We just took on 3 new members this week. So we'll be holding off for a while now before we take somebody else.
What happens if someone's lost?
Well, basically, if someone's lost, well, we use my partner here, Chis. If Chis goes out today, say trouting, he tells his wife he's going to be home, say, well, we'll give 6 o'clock, for example. 8 o'clock shows up, Chis hasn't arrived. She starts to get worried. She contacts RCMP. The RCMP will ask her a few questions, like what time was he expected to arrive? What kind of clothes was he wearing? The general area that he went. Well, we'll use trouting, for example. She'll get the basic information of as much and to detail as he can get from her. Then he'll contact Gary Warren, which is our coordinator. Gary, along with RCMP, will start calling in the search and rescue members, which will meet here at the building, and we'll start getting our supplies together, our equipment. Move to the area. Well, we'll use, say, Selbrook area, or say, lift Selbrook area, gone trouting. We'll then leave that with our equipment, leave the road. Gary will give us coordinates of where he's expected that Chis is left. We'll take our maps, our compass, use them coordinates, and hopefully locate Chis with very little difficulty.
What kind of equipment do you use?
Well, Bernie, for that, I guess we probably should show you some of the stuff that we got here. Along this table, what we got set up here, this is all the equipment that each team, we got 4 different teams, each team, it takes all this equipment with them. This is the equipment now that's, well, we store it in this kit there, but when we go on a search, this is all taken. Like say, okay, now maybe the guy on here will have this big light, 2 other guys will have, everybody usually got their flashlight, but this is the lights that is kit for the team, right? Just in case, well, I could forget to take my light. Maybe I could have been going down the road and met Gary or something, I want to search. There's flashlights here that's kit with the team for when you go that we're sure we got some lighting, okay? We got our map and our compass. Little first aid kit that's took on the country with you, right? And everything here, there's a list there, everything that's in those kits is kit there. So if this kit here is checked, okay, we'll just use what? The axe, for example. We comes back, puts everything back, no axe. Okay, it looks on the list, well, there's neither axe in this kit, so we get another axe, go back. Everything's all listed, that's what will be in this kit. And just move on down. We got a axe, like say you could be in the country, you want to make a lean-to, or saw with a wood, or a saw, I'm sorry, that was the axe. Saw there. This is all basic equipment that's kept in each one of the kits. We got little light sticks. Okay, you get foggy weather, damp snow or whatever, it could be rough seeing each other. Well, maybe every second or third fellow just break off one of those and stick on to his back. Something kind of keeps the guy on need. Then can you follow your line, you can see the guy on need it. We got flares that could be used if someone's lost. We'll break a flare and ave it up. They can basically, you know, okay, well, I know there's somebody in that area, so they can maybe continue to that area, right? We got little waterproof matches and fire starter kits. That's just some that we put in a bag loose so it's easy to get access to. Which is, you know, there's more here, right? But it's just some we just keeps in that's ready to go, right? This is a knit stretcher. You could have someone, I mean, you can't take one of those big stretchers like we have on the other side of the building here and carry off in the country. So this is kind of a knit stretcher that we take. If we find someone with serious injuries, well, we can basically take them back on that, right? We got emergency blankets. You could come across someone with hypothermia or whatever. Hopefully this would help to recover them. Now, I'm not going to sit this off, and I'm going to tell you this is extremely loud. But this is, you got someone lost, this is a signal. It's a signal horn. This bottle's full of air and horn on top. Just hits the button and lets out a real loud sound that could probably help somebody, you know, to your general area, easier to find them. We got trail marker tape. This is biodegradable, by the way. We don't like to leave anything on the country that's going to be any harm or anything. This is tape that's just made when you're walking along, you just stick a piece on a tree here or a limb here, biodegradable, which matter of, you know, a week or so, or probably, I don't know really how long, but it's going to be just gone. And this is our backhoe. If we run to the tape we're in, we use all-purpose paper to mark our trails. And we got our hats and plastic that we could use to make a shelter, plastic hats and line to make shelters. And, well, at our pant, every time it goes off, this is our new system. We got another system that is out to the government wharf in our trailer. We got a trailer that we have in case emergencies come up that's ready to go at all times. But this is a new system we got that's here at the building right now. This was supplied by the government, by the way. We was asking about changes there earlier, but this is some of the changes. We're getting a lot of stuff from the government now too. I can't say a lot, but I mean, we're getting general good help from the government now. And as I was saying earlier, among our changes, we got survival suits that were supplied by the RCMP that gets used on searches on skidoos. Like say, well, we got changes now, we're not any longer ground search and rescue, we're just search and rescue. So we get involved with Coast Guard, we could have do boat searches, so that's a very good vital piece of equipment there. We got some of our, this belongs to the team, some knapsacks that we can put our gear in. Like say, we store it in the cases here so we can keep track of what's here. When we go on searches, well, naturally we can't take our Tupperware tubs, so we use them. And this is, I was saying earlier, the Coast Guard supplies some stuff. Well, Coast Guard, we'd like to thank them for this and our backboard. And we got stretchers, and we got a fair amount of equipment there. We got tent blankets, and by the way, our tents now, this kind of gear, our camping basic supplies is all kept in our trailer, right? When we go, so I guess everybody's quite aware that we can't take everything out of the trailer and bring in and show you. And this is some new first aid kits that we got. Like I say, we got the small ones that we take on the country with us, but this is basically, well, you might have someone carrying on the country, but I'd say this will be kept at the base station.
We have two of those.
We got two of those.
So they would carry on the country too, in case of real search.
Okay, so they would be. We take them on with us too. Like I say, our basic equipment is on the table over there. And just we're getting into the electronic equipment. I guess this is where you can cut in.
This is a repeater station. We put you on the highest CO we can find when we go on search. And this is a base. He sends it from that one, goes to him, and goes to those people in the field. Makes it a lot better, travels a lot far distance. So this is our base station, that repeater, and this is our VHF radio we take in the field with us. We got 11 of those here, plus a mobile phone there. And over here is our GPSs. We had four 4 GPSs. That's a global positioning system. They'll pinpoint where you're at all times, and you transfer it from on here to the map. And this is a naval map. He goes with the GPSs. He works together. This one here is a little bit complicated. I'm not certain far if we use it, but we're getting there. There's hacks we carried with us when we're going in camping somewhere. There's a rocket, a gun player. He fires something like a shotgun shell, but there's a player. Some more players here. We got more than this, but just as a sound what we got. And all team members wears this outfit when he goes on a search. Orange, laid orange, so you can see when they're a long ways away. And like Claudia said, we got the trailer, who's going to store, and we got a rescue boat there. It's a boat, a trailer, and a slide all in one. We got a fair bit of equipment, somewhere around $25,000–30,000 for equipment now, and we're still looking for get more.
Have anyone ever used this equipment in searches?
I ain't personally, but Garen, they have used some of the equipment, the radio. We use the radios all the time when we go anywhere, but some parts have used the equipment on search.
Is there anything else to look at?
Well, basically, we'd like to thank the public for all their donations and things in the past, buying tickets, bingo cards, whatever. And well, basically now I think they've got a fair idea of some of the equipment that we've got here. Knows where some of their money went. I guess Bernie, that's about all I've got. I don't know if Chis have got anything else.
No, that's about I got nothing else.
The public that, I mean, this organization would not be here. So I'd like to thank the public personally and TWIR Search and Rescue. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for speaking with us today.
Another volunteer organization that risks their lives every time they receive a call, be it 4 in the afternoon or 4 in the morning, is the Burgeo Volunteer Firefighters.
The 3 members of the fire department, I'm going to get on to introduce themselves.
Fire Chief Glenn Han.
Inspection Officer Dave Billard.
And Fireman Robert Sims.
How many members do you have, and how can someone become a member?
Right now, Jody, we have 30 members. We're up to full capacity now. That's what we run the fire department as, with 30 members. And we have 9 honorary members. The honorary members are members that have served, say, 20 years of service or more, and or they've become sick and can't participate in fire department work, say pertaining to fires and what have you. So in that case, they have become honorary members. And to become a member, what we do, we advertise on now on BBS to become a member. Okay, to become a member, you had to be 19 years of age. Have a valid driver's license, and I guess basically to be in good physical shape.
Okay. How long has the fire department been in Burgeo?
Okay, Robert.
Jody, the fire department was formed in 1963. I don't know if your camera can pick up. We got a sign up there on the wall, and it says 30 years there, and that was from 1963 until 1993. So now we have been active now since 1963. So that's going in 34 years.
How often do you have practice drills?
We have practice drills every week, and every second week there's a different team coming down there at practice. But every week there's something going on down there where everybody gets a chance to come down and do something, right?
Do you feel that Burgeo has as much equipment as any other small town in Newfoundland?
Oh, for sure, Jody. I think Burgeo is in my opinion, is one of the most fortunate communities in Newfoundland when it comes to firefighting equipment. over the years, since like Robert just said, since 1963, Burgeo have come a long ways in purchasing fire equipment. You know, like you say, the town have really done well. Now we got a 1972 625 pumper. We got a 1991 840 pumper. We got a 1989 Shiv van, Ford van, my mistake, Ford van. Last month we purchased what is commonly known as a Jaws of Life. So for a small community, I think Burgeo is really well equipped.
What events do you do to help keep up the building and buy equipment?
Okay, what we do to help upkeep the building and buy equipment, we do a quite amount of fundraising. We sell tickets, have wagathons, have dances, and as you are aware, all the tickets and that what we buy or sell, it comes from the general public. 99% of the general public is more than willing to buy tickets or sponsor us in whatever we do. Jody?
Do you think it is important to have smoke detectors in homes and buildings around town?
Yeah, I think it's pretty important for everybody to have a smoke detector because it is an early warning system. It gets you a better chance to get out. You'll know a lot faster how to get out of the house. You'll hear the beeping sound, you'll get out right. And it's more important to have to make sure the batteries, make sure they're working, and give them a test every so often to make sure that they're working.
Do the fire department help out other groups?
By helping out other groups, I guess you mean, Jody, whether it's be organizations or form committees or what have you. Yes, we do, and what I mean by the way of, for example, the Sand and Sea Festival, the fire department provide service by the means of having the van on site where the activities are taking place daily with qualified drivers there in case there's an accident or something going on. And we do, in the other way, we provide security, I guess, when it comes to dances for other groups. And this year we will be helping out again as well when it comes to the Cabot 500 celebration, that we will be taking part in that as well. And we do have a other group there, a very important one, where we do contribute greatly to, and that's the muscular dystrophy. Every year we contribute to that by the means we have a car wash, and we raise you know, a very substantial amount of money. Like I know in 94, 95 we contributed $1,000, and 95, 96 we contributed $1,000. So yes, besides helping the general public, you know, we do contribute by means of other way to organizations and groups.
Why did each of you become a volunteer for the fire department?
Well, the reason that I became a volunteer for the Burgeo Fire Department, when I was growing up, I looked towards the fire department as a tremendous group. And when I was, I don't know, 19, 20, whatever, I joined to find out what the fire department was all about. I've been in it 18 years now, so must have found something pretty good into it. Jody?
Yeah, it was about the same thing as Glenn there, but I also had, like, I only joined about 3 or 4 years ago when the plant shut down. That's why I had a bit of spare time on my hands, so that's when I came on. But since that, I must say, it's been really good, and working with and practicing with the fellows has been excellent. So that's why I joined.
Yes, I guess we all have our own reason for joining. Well, I guess I can say right now that probably I'm and I am, I guess, the senior active guy. They're the active senior guy, if you want to put it. I've been into it, I'm into 21 years. I joined back in 76. At that time, I saw, I guess, the same as what Glenn and Dave did. It was a worthwhile organization to become part of, get involved in, and you become very active. You learn a great deal from films and different studies and practices that we have. So the overall picture, 20, like I say, 21 years, that has been very interesting, and it's been great given the service that we to the public that we provide.
Well, I'd like to thank you for letting me interview you.
Okay, Jody, thanks for taking your time to come over and do the interview with us. It's greatly appreciated.
Yes,
thank you, Jody.
This is all volunteer too, and this is a Volunteer Appreciation Week, I understand. Jody, is it?
Yeah, volunteers are taking on the rules.
Yes. So that's fantastic, as I guess the general public can see that there's a good crowd too volunteering their time with the community channel, which is fantastic, and I'm sure that you people will learn a great deal as well.
That's exactly Robert. They helped out when we had the telethon for the Jaws of Life. The BBS volunteers, along with Dave, they really, as far as I'm concerned, they done an excellent job that day, and we really appreciate what those volunteers done. Thank you.
Stay with us.
There's more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Imagine the longest trail in the world. That's the Trans-Canada Trail. Hello, I'm Sylvie Frichette to ask for your support in a grand endeavor, a national trail for all Canadians to enjoy.
Each donation you give makes a meter of trail. In recognition, your name or those of family or friends will be permanently imprinted in trail pavilions.
The Trans-Canada Trail. Call now and put your name on it.
Volunteers play a very important role in our school system. School libraries and computer rooms and even the classrooms often have volunteers helping you.
We're here today at A.J. Matthews Elementary School interviewing Lane Swift, one of the volunteers at the computer room. How long have you been volunteering at the computer room?
Well, I started in the computer room back in September of this school year.
Okay. How many hours or days do you volunteer a week?
Well, we work a week on and a week off. We start on Thursday and work Thursday and Friday. We have the weekend off, and then we work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It runs from 8:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon.
What motivated you to volunteer your time at school?
Well, after I went to West Viking College and did a business course, I really enjoyed working with computers, and they were at an ad on TV saying they needed some volunteers in the computer room over here at school. So I decided it was a good opportunity for me, seeing I had a lot of time on my hands at that time. So that's what I did.
Do you think that volunteers are important to the community?
I think volunteers are really important to the community, because without volunteers, I mean, like I would this school run without volunteers. Without this computer room, the kids wouldn't even be here to do any computer courses. The teachers are just have so many things to do now. They don't have time to come down here in the computer room with students.
Do you enjoy working with students?
Oh, I love it.
Do you think that parents should be involved in their children's education by volunteering at the school?
I definitely think they should. It's so important to the children's education when parents come and out volunteer.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Another volunteer group in our community are giving up their free time to plan and carry out the visit at the Matthew in July, along with the week-long Sand and Sea Festival.
Speaking with me in the studio today, I have three members of the Cape 500 Sand and Sea Committee. I have Paulette Marsden, Florence Courtney, and Dave Cooper. Welcome to the studio. Dave, how are your plans going with regard to the Matthew visit?
Things are going along pretty good for the Matthew visit. We've got a lot of plans in place. There's still a lot of things that have to be decided, but I'm confident that by the time July 14th comes around, everything will be ready to go.
And are you looking for any extra help from the community?
Yes, right now we're looking for 12 able-bodied individuals to help with the setting up and breaking down of 2 portable stages. That's going to have to be done over Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. As time gets nearer, we're going to be looking for a lot of other volunteers to do a lot of things, security and things like that. So if anybody is interested, they can contact someone on our committee, and we'll be glad to take their names and get back to them with something they can surely do to help out.
Florence, will there be any public tours on board in Matthew?
Yes, there will be public touring of the Matthew available. She's coming in at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, so from 3 till 6, definitely that day, and it'll be right from 10 till 6 on Wednesday. So hopefully everybody in town and everybody who comes to visit will be able to get a chance to have a tour of the Matthew, we're hoping.
Paulette, where will the Matthew be docking?
Up to this point, the Matthew will be docking at Seafreeze Wharf, and if, of course, the plant is up and running, we do have a Plan B.
Florence, I understand that there is a large fireworks display. When and where will this take place?
The fireworks display is going to be on Wednesday. It's when the Matthew leaves. She's going to be leaving at about 8 o'clock, but we're going to have our fireworks display at the St. Make's Park. So by the time she leaves, we have our closing ceremonies, and she leaves, she'll probably be passing St. Make's at about the same time that we'll be having the fireworks going off. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay, what kind of event are you planning for the visit?
Well, there's a lot of events going on for those 2 days. I should probably know them off by heart now, but there's going to be a lot of music. We've got our local talent, the Coasters. We've also got the Irish Descendants playing. The Burgess Square Dancer is going to be entertaining. We've got another entertainer, Tony Oxford. We've got a dance on the rink again with our local talent and the Irish Descendants playing for us. There's also going to be a screeching in ceremony. Went off quite well last year, so we're looking forward to another one again this year. And again, Wednesday is going to be more of the same thing. There's also going to be a hot roast beef supper. There's going to be entertainment at the Seaview Lounge, another excerpt of the Line Dancers. It's going to be 2 days of those, and it's packed full. Every minute of every hour is going to be a lot of entertainment for young and old. So.
Paulette, is the Matthew visit and the Sand Sea Festival taking place at the same time?
Yes. The festival itself starts on July the 14th and runs to the 20th. And the Matthew docks on the 15th at 3 and leaves on 16th at 8. So for these 2 days, they'll be at the Seafreeze Wharf, and the rest will be all at the park.
Dave, what fundraisers are you planning and why?
Okay, well, right now we're selling cookbooks. Florence has a copy of the cookbook there. We're selling these cookbooks. They're available at most businesses around our community, I believe. Yeah. We're also selling tickets on this painting that was done by a local artist, Brian Dix. Tickets on this painting are $1 each or 3 for $2. They are available from any of our members or at the BBS office. And what else have we got going, Florence? Oh, caps and T-shirts are on the way, and buttons. They'll all be sold. The reason we're doing these fundraisers, a lot of people wonder why we have fundraisers during this year, but as you're aware, we can't charge people for coming to the park. All the entertainment and things that are provided at the park we have to pay for, but we can't charge people for coming to the park. However, this year we will be setting up a toll gate at the park. It's completely optional whether or not you want to pay, but any money that's raised through that will also go to help offset the cost of entertainment, because that's our biggest expense every year.
Paulette, will there be a brochure issued?
Yes, there will be a brochure out, I'll say, within the next week or so. And that was sponsored to us by Foodland. So that's being printed now, so any day we're open to have that.
Is there anything either one would like to add?
Okay, I think we should probably clarify the rumor that's going around the community.
Okay.
It's been rumored that the only reason the plant cleanup was done was because of the Matthew docking. And we'd just like to inform people that at the time the sea freeze cleanup started last spring, I think it was, there were no plans in place at that time to dock the Matthew at the sea freeze wharf. For the last, I guess right up until a few months ago, the plans were to dock the Matthew at the government wharf, but once officials from Cabot came to look at it, they decided that space was not there to dock the boat there. So that's when we started looking for other options, and we came up with the sea freeze property.
Is it all you look at?
Probably that the brochure is coming out, but there is a couple of changes, which will always happen. There's always continuous changes coming. But whenever there is a change or any kind of event that's going to be rescheduled or canceled or anything like that, we'll definitely put it through this station, through the Southwest Times paper, and probably around town. We'll try and advertise and keep the public as well informed about the events as possible, because we'd like for everybody to come out and get involved in everything. We're trying to keep it as cost efficient as possible for everybody to be able to enjoy all the events. So hopefully we'll be able to inform you as much as we can, and if you got any questions, we're here. You can ask us questions as well, you know, on the road or wherever, right? So.
All right, thank you for coming in and speaking with me today.
Thanks, Roger.
The newest volunteer group in our community is the local Chamber of Commerce. Dave spoke with 2 members of the group earlier in the week to find out more about the Chamber as well as what plans they have.
Speaking with me in the studio today are 2 members of a volunteer group in our community, the Chamber of Commerce, Elaine Swift, who is president, and Ann Parsons, who is co-secretary. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Can you tell us how long the Chamber has been up and running now?
Well, we had some meetings right after Christmas, trying to get the Chamber on the go, but it actually formed on the 24th of February. That was when we had election of officers.
Okay, how many members do you have right now?
We have 23 members right now, but we're still growing. Every other meeting we get more members.
Okay, so when does the Chamber meet, if anyone's interested in joining?
It meets every second and fourth Monday of the month at the Calder Healthcare Conference Room at 8 o'clock.
So what are some of the things that the Chamber has done so far?
So far, the Chamber has, we've been working on getting some road signage to let people know, like to put it on the highway, let people know that we're actually down there, not just the Caribou Trail sign, not saying anything about that, but it is a good sign.
No, we got our policies too now.
Yeah, the IAS has been working on that. We also applied for students to work for us for the summer under the Student Career Placement Program. The fish plant, of course, has been our main issue, which we've been working really hard at, trying to get that open. We've also been working on getting another industry to come to Burgeo, and hopefully we might get a meeting with them in the near future. And our Constitution has been taking up a lot of our time because we had to draw up a Constitution because we couldn't find any copies of the old one, so we had to go with a new Constitution. And we have that done now, and that is in the hands of the lawyers.
Okay.
And we got a meeting coming up with Bill Matthews and Cheryl Stagg. That'll be on Friday morning at 10 a.m. in the conference room.
Okay, you mentioned about signs. There's been some talk about illegal signs along Trans-Canada and things, and about those signs being removed. Where does the Caribou Trail sign fit into that?
Well, Dave, I can answer to that because I had a call from the minister's office last week wanting to know if because I was on the CBC radio, so they heard that, and they wanted to know if I needed any interpretation and what have you. So I do have the policies up there. It is an illegal sign as such, as is our own B&B sign, but we got our application to fill out, and that has to be in by a certain date in May, and or last February, I think it's May though. And the Caribou Trail sign, we have to get in touch with the Department of Transportation, Public Works, or Works and Transportation, what have you, just to see if it's okay to be there, and as long as it's not interfering with their corridors. Anyways, the old policy is there. Yeah, so we're working on that with the Chamber too. It's something that we got to really pick at and digest and what have you, right? So that's one of the policies that's coming up.
Okay. I understand that as a volunteer group, you're looking for Burgeo residents from the community to come and join you in a vigil to save our community?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, for starters, Dave, we're calling it a vigil. It's not a demonstration by no means, because we're not demonstrating against any individual as such. And before we start this, we clarified it with Mr. Barry and the union as well, just to make sure that we weren't treading on any toes and what have you. And he's behind this 100%. As a matter of fact, we got a meeting with him shortly after that on issues relating to the fish plant. But we feel, sitting around the table, Dave, that there's lots and lots of frustration. And without our town's main industry, then we feel that we're a dying town. So we've kind of set up this vigil, we'll call it,
and I got it all there, so I probably just should read some of it
Yeah.
out, you know. We really want to bring attention to the government, to Newfoundland, the public, and all of Canada, and all the news media have been contacted. So hopefully we'll have some coverage. And well, exactly 5 years ago to the date, on April the 24th, 1997, that was the well, 5 years ago, that was the last day of production at the Sea Freeze fish plant in Burgeo. Since that date, we've seen nothing to indicate that the fish plant is going to open. And we feel that it's been a very, very sad time for the people of Burgeo, not only financially, but emotionally as well, and not just for the people who worked on the fish plant. So we feel it's time that we drew some attention to that. And families are leaving, young people are going looking for work. I mean, these are our future, those young people. And we're still, like, what happens to the middle-aged people, the seniors who live there and sit there all their lives, you know? The majority of these people feel that it's no use to go away. I mean, can we really live in a city, you know? Who will hire them? What will they work at? And what work can they do? So in other words, how will our town survive if all these people go? All we see are people leaving, empty homes. This one's for sale, that one's for rent, and somebody else is leaving. A stale fish plant and business is closing. So we strongly would like to encourage everybody, every man, woman, and child to join hands around the town to show the world. We say to show the world that we want to stay here. We love it here, and we have every right to stay, to raise our families there, and even to retire here if we wish. To show the world that we are families whom the government couldn't care less about. Do they really care if the fish plant, our only industry, ever opens anymore? Or if it's going to hire 10 people or 1,000? We don't think so. And that's what we've decided. We don't think so. They don't even know that we're here for the most part, except when come election time, naturally. This year might be a good time, who knows. So what we've planned to do is that we need enough people, and I'm sure there's lots of people in this community that's not doing much in terms of working. So we need enough people to make a circle with everyone holding hands around the main route of the town, from the Fidger building and on up around. And the more people we get, of course, the bigger our circle will be. And we'd like for everybody to wear black or dark clothing if they have it, but if they don't stay home because of it. Come as you are. And we're going to meet at the Anglican Church at 3:30 p.m. on April the 24th. So you can write that down now, guys. But there will be a little bit more news stuff on it and what have you. There'll be things around
And
town.
we'll have it posted anyway on,
Yes.
on BBS.
Yeah. And so we'll meet at the church at 3:30 p.m. sharp, where we'll be led in prayer by the Reverend Byron Barter or the Reverend Marilyn Avery. And then we will proceed to Old Anne's and form a human chain around town. So that's our plan for that. Any questions on that, Elaine? Or?
No. All I can say is that we strongly, strongly encourage that everyone in this town come out and participate in this vigil, because it is really important. If we can capture national TV, like CBC will probably come in and do it. Well, we've sent faxes off to them, so we're just waiting to hear back from them. CBC more than likely will be in to do the coverage regionally, but we need national TV to pick the story up and put this across the nation to let people know we are on the map, we do care,
and
we want to survive. We want the fish plant to open. And everybody else seems to be having all those big protests about with DFO. I mean, there's a crowd in New Brunswick that got DFO office taken over, and the government's not doing anything about it. It seems like they don't give a hoot about it. And there's another crowd in Nova Scotia that it took over, and they're not doing nothing. And then there's in St. John's, there's just what I said, the TAG's clients got the DFO office taken over down there. They're down there protesting every day, ranting and raving. And it seems like the ranting and raving style was getting nowhere. So we decided to take a different approach. Even with all the schools, they're out ranting and chanting and everything every other day because schools are closing. And the same thing with healthcare. So we decided to take a different stand.
And cover all the issues.
Basically cover everything.
Yeah.
So are you expecting our MHA and NT to be here?
Well, they'll be invited. They'll be invited. Yeah, hopefully they will be. We'd like for them to be, but if not, then we're on our own. We've been on our own for the most part.
It seems like we've been on our own for the past 5 years.
Exactly.
Okay. So
And it won't be and it won't be like a parade. It's not going to be a parade. So even if you can't walk, those people out there, even if they don't feel like walking, just come out and stand up. That's all you got to do. Just come out and stand up.
If you don't live on the main drag around town, you can just come out and
go to the nearest intersection or whatever where you would see the group coming along the main route of town.
Yeah, and
because
join
I'm going to complete that circle by the post office, go up around the
Inspiration
Road. And if enough people turns up, you probably could branch off and go up around the hospital and come down around the Reach and come back here and meet.
The more people?
The bigger the circle will grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we strongly encourage, because if we're going to do this, I mean, if the Chamber is going to take on the responsibility of doing this, we want the people's cooperation.
And support. So any of those who wants to stay and live in our community, come out.
I mean, we're planning to get the news media and everything in here, and it won't look very nice if the news media comes in and only 40 or 50 people turn up.
But
we need everybody's cooperation. Things have been too quiet around here for too long.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
I don't think so, not right now, Dave.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for coming in and updating us, and we'll be there on Thursday.
Thank you. We hope to see you there, too.
We would not be able to speak about volunteers without mentioning Virgin Broadcasting System, a company run by a board of volunteers with a community channel that relies heavily on the help of volunteers.
We're at the studios today to interview some of the BBS volunteers. Here we have Bernie Bennett. How long have you been volunteering your services here at BBS?
I say about a year and a half.
Why did you decide to become a volunteer?
I don't know, I thought it was a fun thing to do.
What kind of things do you do here?
Taping, 5X, other activities.
Do you enjoy volunteering here?
Yeah.
Would you encourage others to volunteer?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm speaking now with Roger Marsden, another BBS volunteer. How long have you been volunteering your services?
I don't know, I was probably a year now, I suppose.
What made you decide to become a volunteer?
Bernie wanted me to come in, and I thought it was going pretty cool, like seeing people behind cameras, and it looked pretty cool.
Do you enjoy volunteering here?
Yeah, it was wicked.
What kind of things do you do?
I don't know, like playbacks, switching, taping, comes down bandwagon. It's weird.
Would you encourage others to volunteer here?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm here now speaking to Renee Skinner. How long have you been volunteering here at the BBS?
Over 4 years now.
What made you decide to join?
Well, I started off as a school project and then decided to stay on.
What kind of things do you do here?
Well, I use cameras and does playbacks and does TV bingo and stuff like that.
Do you enjoy working here?
Yes, I do.
Would you encourage others to join?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm speaking now with Lisa Mullins. How long have you been volunteering here at the BBS?
About 7 years.
What made you decide to become a volunteer?
One of my friends was in it and they told me that I should join, so I joined it and I liked it and I've been here ever since.
What kind of things do you do here?
I switch programs and I tape programs, I do playbacks, and I help tape Pansy's Garden.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a nice pastime.
Would you encourage others to join?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Thank you very much.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill.
All that after this.
Watch this, live longer. Newfoundland and Labrador has the highest rate of heart attack and stroke in Canada, but we have united to stop the attack. Communities are organizing activities, families are changing eating habits, and people have quit smoking. With every active step, our hearts beat stronger. Eat healthy, stop smoking, get active, get involved in heart health. Call the Newfoundland and Labrador Heart Health Program for details, and let's stop the attack together.
Off the Rack. Volunteers have been playing a very active role here at BBS ever since the community channel has been in operation. In fact, ever since the company has been in operation. This week, as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a Halloween safety special done by volunteers in October of 1991. Here's an excerpt from that show.
Hi, I'm Teddy the Pumpkin. I'm here to give you some Halloween safety tips. Be safe, be seen, wear reflective clothing. Children should also carry flashlights. If you are wearing a mask, make sure that the mask fits securely and that it has large openings for the eyes and mouth. Masks can restrict vision and breathing. Whenever possible, wear makeup instead of a mask. Use safe props, swords, knives, and similar accessories. Should be made of flexible materials that will not harm you or anyone else. Avoid trailing costumes. Costumes should be short enough to prevent children from tripping and falling. Have your treats checked by a parent or adult before you eat any of them. Make sure stairways and walkways are clear of any obstacles that could trip trick-or-treaters. Candlelit jack-o'-lanterns should be kept away from doorsteps where costumes could be brushed against the flame or accidentally knocked over. With safety in mind, we can all enjoy a safer Halloween. Thank you.
Happy Halloween!
Welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm AJ Martz. The Burnett's TV Bingo held on Wednesday was won by Teresa Sims. Congratulations, Teresa. The preschool committee will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Bingo cards are available from any preschool child or in most stores around town. The RCMP are selling Law Enforcement Torch Run 97 t-shirts. T-shirts are $12 each, with all proceeds going to the Special Olympics. T-shirts can be purchased at the RCMP office, BBS office, or at Pam's Beauty Salon. The Cabot 500 Committee are still seeking accommodations for this summer's visit of the Matthew and the Sand and Sea Festival. If you have a spare room, why not take a boarder for a couple of days? If you are interested or require further information, please contact Daphne Marsden at 886-3365. The committee is also seeking 12 volunteers to help in setting up and dismantling 2 stages during the Matthew visit. If you are interested or require more information, please contact Paulette Marsden at 886-2830 or Florence Courtney at 886-2456. If your group or organization has an upcoming event plan and would like to have it included in our lineup, please contact the BBS office during regular business hours. Events must be submitted no later than Wednesday of each week. This concludes the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill.
Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for Vimy Veteran Remembers. This video comes to us from the War Amps.
Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden.
Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Preschool TV Bingo.
Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of The Bandwagon.
And of course, Marie, Melissa, and Pansy will be here again with Craft and Stories, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden.
And Dave will be back next week with This Week in Review.
Next week's program will be followed by an evening with Stan McDonald from our friends at Remy Broadcasting.
Please stay tuned now for the Bandwagon Youth Jam Session.
For This Week in Review, I'm Rhonda Green.
And I'm Rogers Marsden.
Good night.